So we're going to start with the first 5 halachot. First 4. And then go back down to the notes. Okay, so we're on page Siman Taf Reish Ayin Aleph, Halacha Aleph. Every chapter is called a Siman. So Taf Reish Ayin Aleph is Siman 671. And then each Halacha Aleph Ben Gimel is called a Seif. So Siman and Seif. Seif Aleph. Tzarich lizaher me'od b'adlakat Nor Chanukah. One must be very careful in fulfilling the mitzvah of lighting Chanukah candles. V'afilu ani, and even a poor person. Hamitparnes min hatzedakah, who is living off of tzedakah. Sho'el u'mocher kisuto, he either pawns or sells his clothing. V'lokech shemen lahadik, and he buys oil to light Chanukah candles.
It doesn't make sense. If you live on donations, then you probably don't have hardly any clothes to wear. So
That's how important it is to light Chanukah candles. Because of Persumei Nisa, our rabbis took this mitzvah of publicizing Hashem's miracle so greatly that even if you have limited funds, you still have an obligation to go buy Chanukah candles. Bet. Kama nerot madlik. How many candles does he light? B'layla rishon, on the first night, madlik echad. You light 1. Mikan ve'elach, from here on out. Mosif, you add. V'holech echad b'chol layla. You add 1 every single night. Ad shebeleil acharon, until the last night. Yihiu, next page. Shemona, there'll be 8 candles in the last night. Why 8 and not 9?
like on Rosh Hashanah?
1,000 times, I will never consider a shamash a halacha. So we never count in pairs of 9, only in pairs of 8. So don't forget there are 9 candles, or 8 candles in the Chanukah. The 9 candle is like saying, if you light the Chanukah in this room, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means you're lighting 12 candles tonight.
So
Shamash has nothing to do with the Chanukah.
if a person's really poor, why can't they just light 1 candle and
Oh, it didn't get there.
Oh.
Va'afilu, and even im rabim b'nei habayit, even if there are many people in the house. Lo yadlik yoter, you don't light more than 8 candles in one house.
Oops. Oh.
Yeah, we
That's-
talked about this before.
Don't worry, this is going to be famous because we're going to do it again this year too.
Only 1 menorah.
Haga. I want to see something cool? Watch this. You see where it says Vafilu?
Yes.
There's a little gimel next to the word Vafilu.
Yeah.
You see the word Vafilu there?
The
It's the
second
top
one.
line, the second word on the page.
I'm getting like some crazy Rashi in the middle of there. So there's a script and this tiny Rashi in the middle. I
Are
gotta
you
figure
on
out where.
276?
Yeah,
So what's the first word on the page? Shemona?
Shemona.
The
Yeah,
next word?
yeah, Filu.
Do you see a little
That's it.
gimel over there?
Oh, on the attached to the
Yeah.
Filu. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do actually. Yeah.
So
it's
follow
two-
that gimel all the way to the right side of the page.
Oh yeah, that's the note. Okay.
The source for this halakha of not lighting more candles is Tosfot. Who's Tosfot?
The
The
grandson?
German.
Russian.
German and French rabbis.
Okay. German. Okay.
Now watch this. Rama, Haga. V'yesh omrim, and some say, the kol echad mivnei habayit yadlik, that everyone in the house should light their own candles. What's the source for that? Says little parentheses.
Rama?
Jude.
Not the look after the word yadlik. There's little parentheses. Whose name is there?
Rama. Reishman.
Rama.
Rambam.
Rama.
Ah, oh.
So the Sfaradim are following the Ashkenazi rabbis, and the Ashkenazim are following the Rambam.
What?
If you want to ask me the miracle of Hanukkah, this is the miracle of Hanukkah. This one right here. I don't know. Many essays have been written how this happened. But whatever happened, this is what happened.
The Yemenite are very confused.
V'chen haminhag pashut, and says the Rama, and that's the obvious custom in Ashkenaz, is every person lights. Not just one Chanukah. Every person
Householder.
lights. ויזהרו ליתן כל אחד ואחד נרותיו במקום מיוחד. But the Ashkenazim are not particular about the condition of the Ramah. Everyone should make sure to light their candles in a different place. כדי שיהכר כמה נרות מדליקים, so that people can know how many candles you light tonight. When I look through a window and I see 300 candles in an Ashkenazi house, I know which night of Hanukkah it is? No, if they want to light more than one Chanukiah, every Chanukiah must have its own designated spot. Don't light them together. Because that would defeat the whole purpose of publicizing the miracle of which night of Hanukkah it is.
What if you light it in the middle of the house?
But since like Ramban permitted, right? Like he said, like we can.
But not together.
Such as Westbrook.
Everyone lights, but not together. There's a condition to this Ashkenazi custom.
You have to have windows. You have to have enough windows.
Enough windows. Or you don't want windows, then at least in the house, prominent spots in the house.
Promise us.
One on the Shabbat table, one on the kitchen, one on the dining room. Whatever.
Different rooms, in other words.
Yeah, no, I don't want to start fires at everybody's house, so just you want to do this safely, right? But one more Hanukkah.
A lot of people put them over the fireplace, but it's Hanukkah's in a cold time of year. I wonder if people like are lighting they're lighting the fire too. You know. And
That's
then
the big shamash.
Yeah, the big smash.
Okay. I have two menorahs. One where I can light candles and or olive oil on them, and I have an electric one that I bought from Dan that I can put on the window. Can I do both or not?
Yeah, for sure, but you want to light the oil one first.
Okay.
Because according to some opinions, not all, you might fulfill your obligation with electricity.
Oh.
And you don't want to have it like light that one and then not be able to say a bracha on your Hanukkah candles.
Oh, okay.
But you're just allowed to do just
Yeah,
one
still a
bracha.
bracha.
Ner, Halacha Gimel. Ner, a candle, sheyesh lo shte piyot, which has two mouths.
Piyot. Like legs, you mean, or they're kind of
Like this.
You can't light the candle both ends.
Yeah, I don't understand that line.
Oh, U-shaped candle.
That was like
Like,
two
like-
outlets.
eight
What do you mean, 2
piyot,
outlets?
2 mounts.
That was the menorah back in the days, no, Rabbi?
There's always that like triangular menorah that the Chabad is always saying associates with the Rambam. I don't know. That shape.
Here. When our rabbis talk about candles, you know they're talking about this, right? Where you fill it up with
Yeah.
oil, and there's a wick that comes out here.
I
And
do
you
that.
light the wick. So what our Chachamim are talking about
Oh, I see that again.
is...
It's I Dream of Genie.
I dream of genie.
Right?
Okay.
What our Chachamim are talking about is this one.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, I don't know, it's too.
Or laying down like that. So as you fill it up with oil,
Mhm.
and there are two wicks. Is that one candle or two candles? Because they share an oil source.
I share one wick. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's even one long wick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Say Chachamim, if it has one candle, because this is called a candle in Halakha. This is a candle.
Okay.
Perhaps it's better to translate to English a lamp with two mouths. Olelo bishvil shnayim. It counts as two candles.
Okay.
So you have two separate fires. It's two separate candles.
How do you do that? I mean,
That makes sense.
That's not. It's just now it's telling you how you do it, and
Oh, you're saying like 2 mouths, like pay, not like a mount, right?
yeah.
Two
Correct.
wicks.
Pay.
two fires.
מלא מילא קערה שמן. מילא קערה שמן. If you fill a bowl with oil, והקיפו הפתילות, and you put all around the bowl wicks. אם כפה עליה כלי, if you put on top of it another utensil, what's the point of another utensil? To make sure the wicks don't gather together and become one wick.
Mm.
So you have a bowl and you put something else on top of it so the wicks all stay to the
Separate.
sides. Correct? Kol ptila ola b'shel ner echad. Every wick counts as one candle. Lo kafe alei hakli, but if you didn't do something to separate those wicks, afilu l'ner echad eino ole, it doesn't count even for one candle.
Wow.
Lefi shehu kimdura. Maran is teaching you a new halacha here, because it's considered a bonfire, a torch, not a candle.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you the truth, because I don't have a proper translation for not translation. I don't mean a translation to English. I mean, I don't have a proper parameters to tell you what is the difference between a candle and a torch. Like, you know, some places they do these big Hanukkah lightings with like tiki torches.
Yeah,
Do
that's
those
probably
count?
wrong.
The question is, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what. I don't have a good answer to tell you.
Well, the hotel, there's usually a huge one,
Right.
too.
What Maran is telling you is too many wicks together is now inappropriate to even be considered one Hanukkah candle. It's too much fire.
Yeah, but that's when something is together. But when you're gonna turn like different Hanukkahs, like 10 Hanukkah, obviously it's not gonna look the same.
Right. That's
Right.
okay. Haga, says the Rambam, ולכן, and therefore, יש להיזהר להעמיד הנרות בשורה, בשווה, ולא בעיגול. And therefore, says the Rambam, listen very carefully, when I was in school, they taught me this like it's a halacha, that a round Chanukiah is pasul.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they tell you, right?
Yeah.
But it's not true.
It's not true?
Says the Rambam, you should be careful to make sure that the Chanukiah is straight in a line. And not round. The Havi Kimdua, so it won't look like a torch. Okay, big deal. It's a good thing, Rambam is saying. The halakha.
So is that a halacha? That's not. That's just a minhag.
It's an opinion. ומותר להדליק בפמוטות שקוראים למפה. And you can light with candlesticks that are called lamps. מאחר שכל נר מובדל הרבה מחברו. Because every candle is separate from his friend. By the way, it seems that what the poskim are saying here is that what is considered a torch, many wicks together.
Yeah.
But if you have big wicks that are separate from each other and that you can recognize this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, that's okay. So the tiki torture rabbis are fine. ויזהרו כשעושים נרות אפילו בשעווה. And they should be careful even when they make wax candles. שאין לדבקן ביחד להדליקן. You shouldn't stick the... Someone will say, oh, look at this. Instead of making a Chanukiah and I'm going to stick each... Let's say you don't have a Chanukiah. So instead of sticking each candle to the table, you stick the candles to each other. And you make like a chain of candles. Like 8 candles stuck together.
These cheap.
That is forbidden. The Havi Kimdula, because that's like a torch. Says the top of the page, next page, left side. אפילו בנרות של שבת ויום טוב יעזרו שעשות כן. Rama brings an or zarua. There's a custom and opinion that even on Shabbat and holidays, you shouldn't light your candles so close together they become a torch.
What's the word for torch again? Yeah.
What?
What's the word for torch?
Midua.
Medua.
Really, midua is a modern Hebrew would use for a bonfire. But it's anything that's bigger than like a candle. So a torch would definitely qualify for that. It's the midua is the last word on 276. Kimdua.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's do some notes.
Is it ever allowed to be used around Hanukkah? Or just in
Yeah, Maran just said yes.
Moran said yes?
Maran said around Chanukah is okay, so long as you have something to keep the wick separate, right? That's what Maran said.
Well, there's 2 different kinds of round. There's round like this, and then there's round like a hill. So which kind of round are we talking about?
Round like a bowl.
Because a hill is not allowed for a different reason,
Why not?
right? I thought there's well, that's what maybe another old wives'
But
tale.
it
You
is
can't
another.
have,
I learned that in school also. Why not?
You know, I don't know.
I'm not saying why
Keep them
not.
all level. You can't. Yeah.
Because it looks like Kwanzaa. Okay, but they stole it from us, not the other way around. So what could be the problem?
I don't know, but we used to go in Israel around when it was all, it was nice. I never used it.
Let me see if I can actually come up with that. I remember once seeing an old Chanukah that was around.
Well, I'm glad now I could use it. If Ron says you could use it, then
You have a weird round one that was like an artistically made one or something?
yes,
or-
you bought it a long, long time ago in Israel, and
Oh.
it's nice, but I never use it because somebody years ago told me you can't use it if it's round, so I
Yeah.
never use it. But I like it because it's really pretty.
In the Judaica business, we see a lot of people like they're artists but don't really know halacha, and they make
Okay,
some weird
let's
stuff.
say a proper round
Oh,
one.
too
Yeah.
bad.
So this is not a Chanukia, but a proper round one will look like that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
where you could put a wick in each one,
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
that's
separate,
fine.
doesn't touch, or it's separate. You
Separates
can see
them.
but
it's
they're separate.
Yeah, this one has probably about that.
You got it,
much.
bro?
but that's interesting. They're definitely separate, but there's not like a separate kli on there. That's like by design. That
Right, like
one.
they're all sharing the same oil.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure you have enough oil to keep all of them lit for long enough.
For 30 minutes, right?
These are all candle.
So
But that's what Chachamim are talking about when
they're intentionally separated.
In those days, they had a lot of different types of candle holders, vessels, whatever. Yeah,
many different times.
yeah
I'm
many,
trying to
many
find
different
like a,
kinds. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of us are not even familiar with the different kinds
Right.
in modern day, era.
Yeah, it's like us with calculators or something, you know? It's like there's a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes, and then the next few years later you don't even need it because you're using your smartphone to
To do the same thing.
do the same thing. You know?
okay, I can't find the one I was looking for, but that one was similar enough that I could tell you. So according to Maran, that would be fine. And the Ramah's giving a suggestion. In general, try not to make round Chanukiot so the wicks don't bunch together and become a torch, then you're in problems. But it's not the shape that's the problem. It's the placement of the wicks that's a problem.
Okay.
Joined together.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, many people learn Halacha improperly. But I mean superficially. Most people don't actually open a Shulchan Aruch when they learn Halacha. I would say that most people read like Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, like abridged books of law. Do this, don't do that, do that. And their logic is not there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they teach. Today it's even worse. I don't think people even read the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. They're reading like articles from the internet. One Judaic teacher I just heard of said that they download articles from Esha Torah, Chabad.org, those kind of things, and that's what they teach in the class. And it's not even a book. It's like the next level.
It's hearsay. In court, you call it hearsay.
It will be inadmissible evidence. Okay, let's look at our parents' notes. For those of you, we're on this one. This
Page 1.
It's going to look like this, the page.
That's it.
It's page 3, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, looks like page 3.
The top of page 3.
Someone made extra copies, or just a few copies that are already here.
No,
Like a supporter, I guess.
there's the email, please remember to print before you come to class.
Okay, this is it.
Yeah, things bearing.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And bring your own cup.
So the Shulchan Aruch says a round Hanukkah is okay. So it means that people who
I'd
don't-
like to bring my own cup. That's a great idea.
They don't even know the whole.
What you do.
They
Never
don't read
have.
it.
And they caused you damage.
It doesn't take off.
You could.
No. We have a chair right here.
This is the rough page, right?
Round 3?
Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to be reading.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I should hardly read it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transform this way.
I just can't remember what you said. Oh, it worked.
Seif Aleph. Felix is commenting on the first halacha. בלילה ראשון מדליק אחד, מכאן ולך מוסיף הולך. On the first night you light one, and then each additional night you keep adding one. Aleph. You see the Aleph? זהו למהדרין מן המהדרין. This is the opinion of there's the regular basic opinion, one candle per night. The second and the third is מהדרין מן המהדרין. וכן מנהג ספרד, and this is the custom of Sfarad, שמדליקים נר אחד לכל בני הבית, they light one candle for everyone in the home. ומוסיף והולך בו כל לילה, and every night they add one candle. However, this is the most simple way to fulfill the mitzvah, it's the most correct way to fulfill the mitzvah, and it's the most difficult way to fulfill the mitzvah. Because everybody's taught everybody that you need to, everyone wants to light their own Chanukiah, the kids make their own Chanukiot at school, the whole culture is The whole culture is very pluralistic with this Hanukah.
So you're saying you do one Hanukah for the whole family, and you're saying that's the.
That's Halacha.
That's the big, okay.
I was somebody's house in Hamotzi. The guy made hamotzi on the bread, and then he handed it to him. He made hamotzi. Handed it to him, made hamotzi. Handed it to him, made hamotzi. Handed it to him, made hamotzi. Finally, he brought it back, and he cut up the challah. What
Oops.
craziness is that?
Wow.
It's like your bracha is not good enough for me. My bracha is not good enough for him.
You go to someone's house for Friday night. Hey, do you want to make your own kiddush? Your answer should be no.
Right.
No. No. Meaning, when do you say yes? There's only one time I'll say yes. Really, maybe two times. One, I'll say yes if, because I'm the rabbi, they want to honor me with kiddush, so the host wasn't planning to make kiddush anyway. So essentially, it's still one kiddush for everybody in the house. The host simply passes honor on forward. The second is if you know that the host doesn't know how to make kiddush properly. It happens. There are times like that. In that kind of situation, you can make your own kiddush. But for the most part, inside of a house, one person will make kiddush. One person makes hamotzi. In the olden days, one person does Mekan Mazon. What do you do a zimun for? What's the whole purpose of zimun? Please, can we do? Let us give a blessing. Why do I have to ask you permission to do a blessing if you're going to do your own blessing anyways? I'm engaging in you saying, can I bless for you? Can I do the Birkat Hamazon? Is everyone ready for me to do Birkat Hamazon? Birshut, yeah, okay, fine, go. Baruch Shacham Shov Zochaynu, they say, and then you say Birkat Hamazon for everybody. And that's why they answer Amen to every blessing.
So that's like to be connected when he's going to start doing the bracha.
Yeah. Today's Judaism is anarchy. Ha'isha Shaar be'enav yaseh. Everybody does whatever they want to do. Halacha don't matter. The concept of halacha don't. What the concept of halacha? What's that halacha? Berov am hadrat melech. When you do a mitzvah together, everyone does them together. It has more value to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. El kabir le'emas tfilat rabim. The great God does not turn away the tefillah of many. An individual's tefillah he turns away. But when many people pray together, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, is powerless against such a tefillah. That's what it says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is when it comes to mitzvot, to do them together. That was my first year of marriage. It was by my father-in-law's house of Hanukah. It's a dilemma. According to him, I should light my Hanukah. According to me, I shouldn't. So what do I do? Now technically I could light inside of my room. Why? My room, he wouldn't go in there the whole time that I'm there. Some people, when they give you a room, it's only for a night. In the daytime, they go get their stuff from there. They go. The room he gives us is my room. So really, if I wanted to light a candle, I could. So I worry about fire. You were my kids. You were lighting candles in bedrooms. So the easiest solution for me, I gave him 20 shekels, $5. I said, I'm buying every night 1 bit of your oil from your Hanukah. When you light candles, light for me also, and I'm participating in this mitzvah. In Baltimore, we did also. Anyone who didn't want to light their own Hanukah, the Rosh Yeshiva would say, go give a nickel to the man who lights the yeshiva's Hanukah. And with that, you buy your portion in the mitzvah of Hanukah candles.
Even if you're not there?
So if you're not there, yeah, there were nights that I was not at my father's house, he lived for me also. I would sleep there later, but I wasn't there
Yeah.
during candlelighting.
If the halacha doesn't mandate you to do that, why would you have to do that? I mean, the tradition in Sephardi is to light one Hanukah. So why would you say you have to go buy your portion of the oil?
Because technically, I could light in my own room. I have an obligation to light.
Well, if he had the same minhag you have, then he would light, and it would be for everybody.
I would still pay.
Oh, you would?
I have my own room in this house.
That's like your private. No.
Okay. So it kind of supports the idea that you should have one Hanukah for everyone.
V'dat Rambam, the opinion of the Rambam, l'halacha, v'chen minhag Ashkenaz. So the Ashkenazim follow the Rambam, whose opinion is that li kol echad mivnei bayit kol echad masiv olech. Everybody lights their own Hanukah, and everyone continues on every night adding a candle. And how does it work? What's the condition for that? The Ramah says the Ashkenazim follow this custom, but there's a condition he puts in place. In order to fulfill this custom of every person in the house lighting their own Hanukah properly, in different places. You can't light them in the same place. You have to be able to look and say, oh, this is the third night of Hanukkah tonight. Not there's 20 candles here. What if you don't have enough money? The bare minimum is to light, or here not bare minimum, to light one candle per person in each house. So if there's 4 of us in the house, you light 4 night candles every night. V'im yesh lo haradat tet nerot. What if you have 9 candles?
Ten candles.
What if you have 9 candles? That's what you have for the whole Hanukkah.
You do one night.
But then you're gonna have 1 left over.
It's like during
Well,
every.
you can use that, the one is for shamash, let's put it on.
No shamash.
Yeah, you can use it just to light everything and keep turning it off. And keep extinguishing the fire. I mean, that's what you use it.
I don't have to use. Why do you need a candle to light? Use to light candles with.
Lighter.
Sure.
Why do I need an extra candle to light things with?
Well, what are you gonna light the wicks?
The
Is it
first
oil?
candle.
Well, what if it's an oil?
It's not. There's the candles. If you have 9 candles. Yadlik belez sheni shte nerot. You light 1 candle the first night, and the second night you light
2.
2 candles, and on the third night you light
One.
1 candle, and the fourth night you light 1 candle. At least one night you did the mitzvah of mehadarin min ha'mehadarin. Understand?
Yeah.
V'im yesh lo yud nerot. What if you have 10 candles?
You can use
You
one of
can
the
have 10 menorahs.
to light the other
Hanukkah.
candles, but I thought you were supposed to use it for anything else.
What if?
Sounds like a
You are allowed to light candles. Okay. Im yesh lo shemen b'tzimtzum. What if you only have a set amount of oil? Or nerot she'ava gdolim b'tzimtzum. But you have big wax candles, but very few of them.
Use the oil first and then light the candles in case you might come across more oil.
Well, let's light it like this. Let's say you have a lot. You have
Yeah,
oil. You have enough oil to light for
30
8 nights.
So,
Then you're fine.
what's the problem?
Unless you have enough oil to light 1 candle.
Let's say you have enough oil to light exactly 8 candles, but doing 1 the first night, 2 the second night, 3 the third night, 4 the fourth night. And you find out that your friend doesn't have oil for any candles.
So you just.
Do you decide to light 1 a night and give him so he can light 1 a night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or do you say, listen, I want my lighting, you go find somebody else to get oil?
Well, you need to help them to fulfill the mitzvah.
You lower the way you keep the mitzvah and light 1 candle per night, and give him enough oil to light 1 candle a night also. You don't find this by any other mitzvah.
Hmm.
What's so special about here? Rabbi Pelitz gives 2 reasons. See the brackets over here? By the 5th line, there's like little lines on the right side of the page, by the 5th one. The bracket says, "Af al pi shelo matzanu ken b'chol mitzvot." We never found such a concept by other mitzvot that you give away your better mitzvah to your friend. Yesh lomar bet ta'amim. There's 2 reasons you can give for this. The first, Aleph, kivan sheyesh lo lefi ikar hadin. You have enough oil to light. I mean, if you light 1 candle per night, did you fulfill the mitzvah?
Yes.
So you did it. It's not like you're losing your mitzvah. You did the mitzvah, just not the extra way. The second, what's the whole point of lighting candles?
Just follow the mitzvah.
To say that better. That sounds
To,
good.
Remember that.
to,
It's the handwriting.
declare it.
To publicize the
Publicize
miracle.
it, sorry.
Pirsum nisa. by giving your friend oil to light his own Chanukah, what greater personal mitzvah is there than that? You've now made the Chanukah light in two places. So there's two reasons that compel you to give away your extra oil.
Lost a mitzvah. No.
I mean, in the spirit of the mitzvah is to take away from the mitzvah so you can do the mitzvah twice.
That's the only example. It seems like on Sukkot you'd have something maybe similar. Like if you had only enough, material to make kind of like a minimally qualified mitzvah or sukkah, but you can make a more.
I think the example would be more like, if you had 11 and 12, do you give away half of your set to somebody else?
Oh, yeah, just
And there's no, because you want to fulfill your mitzvah.
yeah, you need
If
all
you,
four.
if you have one matzah for Pesach, do you eat half the amount that you're required to eat and give your friend half the amount to eat? Or at least one of you should fulfill the mitzvah properly. Chanukah is the only mitzvah we find this where you can take a step back in the observance.
Yeah, 'cause light can be divided.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because that's the Rambam says that you fulfill your mitzvah just to light one candle for house.
Yes.
Right.
Back in Shulchan Aruch.
Can we
so
put
you could help out 7 poor people.
We're back
Yeah.
here.
Instead of having one way, that's the way you call it, you can put an extra one for another person using the same oil.
Extra wick. But
Is
this
that
is
what-
not
that's
Chanukah. You only have a certain amount of oil. It's not going to last for 8 days, like in the story of Chanukah. If you put 2 weeks on the same oil, it's going to last half the amount of time. It's the same thing as giving him half the oil.
But let's say that he doesn't have a container where to put it. How do you?
Okay, if you don't have a container, then last again.
You're making it difficult.
Set up the scenario so it works.
Let's back to Shulchan Aruch. Taf Reish Ayin Aleph. Sif Hey. Hey is going to be on the left side of the page. 276 is the right, the left side of the page.
No, it's okay. You don't have enough. Thanks.
Is this the same one? Of the same one?
You're the one who just gave away all your oil.
Oh, I want my oil back.
Yeah, no, let's tear it in half.
Oh, that, no, keep it.
Cut the baby in half. Huh?
But if you give me this book, I'll give Jack the Shulchan Aruch.
There you go.
Or at least
Oh,
half.
they all look the same. They look
Well, where are we now?
There are different letters on them.
Okay.
I think it's still 671.
Where?
Yes. No.
Here.
176.
Oh,
On the
you're
r-
right.
Left side of the page where it says hey.
Hey,
So you want to use Sefaria, we also have.
That's what I'm saying, close to Baruch.
Ner Chanukah. You see this?
Hey, oh, right at the top of the page.
Oh, 276.
See where I'm at? Ner Chanukah. Chanukah candles menicho al petach hasamuch lirshut arad mibachutz. Where are you supposed to light it? Outside of your home, at the entrance that faces the public thoroughfare, outside of your house.
so much for lighting in your bedroom.
Exactly. Im habayit patuch lirshut rabim, if your doorway opens straight to the public domain, like many people's houses do.
Mm-hmm.
You think your houses? Some of your houses don't.
Your house don't run
Yeah.
your house.
Yeah. To your yard, maybe.
You all know my house, how it looks?
That's kind of
Oh,
inside
yeah,
the
that's
entrance.
right. Your
Yeah.
house is, yeah, it's true.
My house first opens to a little courtyard. And it has another entrance. In Israel, sometimes you live on the street, you open the door, and right outside your door is Governor Drive. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Mexico.
Right there.
אם הבית פתוח לרשות הרבים, if the house is open to the public domain, מניחו על פתחו, you light the candle at the entrance of the door,
You know,
meaning outside your house by the doorway.
it's in the middle, is that the
ואם יש חצר לפני הבית, and if there's a courtyard in front of your house, מניחו על פתח החצר, you light it in the opening of the courtyard.
At the beginning of the courtyard.
So you would light it as close to the public domain, the last doorway between your house and the public domain. That's where you're lighting it.
So just outside your courtyard area.
Yeah, so.
You ever notice my house? I light an
Yeah,
electric
this is what
Hanukah
he's-
outside.
That's what he's
Where do I
raised
put it?
On
In
our
the
left.
window? Oh, no, you put right
In the
there, I'm
window?
sure you do.
Where do you put
Yeah.
it? In the window, right?
No, because you know when you walk in.
Right outside of the courtyard.
Yeah, yeah.
ואם היה דר בעלייה, what if you live up on the second floor, meaning on a higher level? שאין לו פתח פתוח לרשות הרבים, you don't have an opening to the public domain. מניחו בחלון הסמוך לרשות הרבים. You light it in your window that faces the public domain. ובשעת הסכנה, and in the time of danger. What do you mean danger? What kind of danger?
The era is dangerous
For who?
Meaning you're-
for Jews.
For Jews.
Yeah.
שאינו רשאי לקיים this mitzvah, you're unable to do this mitzvah properly by putting it outside. מניחו על שולחנו ודיו. You place it on your table and die. That's enough.
With the curtains closed? It
Yes.
doesn't say that, but I assume with the curtains closed.
Yes. Why?
Because
No one see it.
No one.
You don't want anybody to get suspicious.
At the end of the day, the people in your house, you publicize the miracle to them. No, it's enough.
Yeah, at least you
It's
got
enough,
half,
right? I mean, it's enough.
got half a holiday.
That's what most people do today. You think the window you light in your house, people from the street see your candles?
Yeah.
Probably not.
What you do is you find a window that isn't really facing the street, but you fight, just so you feel like you're facing
That's right.
outside.
The Maaseh, most people who light in their windows are not fulfilling this opinion of lighting in a window facing the public.
Yeah.
They're lighting in a window to make themselves feel good, but really, that window should at least be in a prominent place where the people in the house can see it, because that's the whole point. You're really you're relying on the people in the house
Yeah.
to fulfill the mitzvah.
Okay.
In my house, the window that the people in the street can actually see is going to be the window in the front bedroom of my house. I light a Hanukkah candle there just in case. My wife lights her Hanukkah there. But I know that if I light Hanukkah candles there, nobody's going to see those candles inside of my house. You don't even know it's Hanukkah.
Yeah.
So my main Hanukkah candle lighting is inside of my dining room.
Yeah.
And I put it near the window because it makes me feel good that the people all the way across the canyon in Claremont can maybe look and say, oh, look, it's Hanukkah tonight. They don't see anything. They don't see anything. Just like I don't see anything in their window, they don't see anything in my window. But really, why am I lighting? I'm lighting because that's the most prominent place inside of my house. וצריך נר אחד להשתמש לאורו. And you need to have one candle in order to be able to use this light. What is that? That's what you call your shamash. Why doesn't he say you need one candle in order to light the other candles with?
Yeah, so that way when you do,
Because
reasons.
You can't do that with an oil candle.
Very good. First, practically, you cannot light one oil candle with another oil candle.
Mm.
Second, according to Maran, you're allowed to light one candle with another candle. Using candle number 2 to light candle number 1 is not considered a denigration of the mitzvah. That's part of the mitzvah. Only the Ramah has a stringency that you cannot light one candle from another candle.
Oh.
According to Maran, the only reason you have a shamash is for one reason. To add a little bit of light, so the light that you're using inside your house is from the shamash and not from the other candles.
what about if you want to use a lighter?
To light your candles, okay. V'im yesh medura, and if there's already a big torch inside of your house, maybe there's light, a source of light inside of your house, eino tzarich ner acher, you don't need another light to add to your Chanukiah. Which of your houses is so dark that you're using the Chanukah candles for anything?
Yeah, it's mostly.
Mostly have
You
lights
have
on.
torches all over your
Extra light.
house. They call them lights.
Yeah, it's just extra light.
One light bulb, a small light bulb, gives off more light than your whole Chanukiah together. The fact that people still light a shamash is embarrassing. Tradition. I got it. I
Tradition,
understand.
yeah, well, you know what it's like. It's like the shamash is watching over the other candles, and you come up with this scenario of mythical.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it is. At least he's honest. I used to light in Israel. I never lit a shamash. Came to America, people give me such a hard time for lighting a shamash, for not lighting a shamash. Oh, what do you mean, Rabbi? You don't have shamash? You don't know. Like everybody's teaching me what it says. So what I used to, I called out, what should I do? He says, Rabbi Yonatan, if you're my student, don't light a shamash. He said, especially not with olive oil. You're gonna waste olive oil on a shamash. So what I did was I would light the shamash with cheaper oil, like paraffin oil or something like that. But then people said, "Oh, see, the rabbi did tshuva. He put a shamash in his Hanukah." So 3 years ago, I started Kehillat HaShamayim. I got rid of my shamash. I was hiding somewhere.
So you just don't use the hamash at all. You just light 8 candles. So that's,
I have so many shamashes in my house.
yeah, true.
What do I need shamash for? Why teach people incorrect halacha?
That's the way I did it last
Okay.
year.
See,
Oh,
Is
the
it
amount.
really incorrect? Or
Absolutely.
why?
Why are you doing something that has no purpose?
It has a
It
purpose.
has no purpose.
Adds extra light.
Well, no,
You
it
don't
doesn't.
need it. Get the lights.
Even Rabbi Yonatan Halevy, he made the argument that you should light your Chanukah with electricity. He says, can you imagine, you're in a house with such beautiful electric lights, and you light this pathetic olive oil, he says, that even a poor person, you go to a homeless guy, you say, hey, you want a flashlight? I'll give you a whole jug of olive oil with wicks. He's going to laugh you out of town. Of course, I'll take the flashlight. He said, the light you offer to the weekdays is your beautiful electricity, and the light you offer to the God who created heaven and earth is the ugly olive oil that you pulled out of your cabinet to light Chanukah with. He says, you're not embarrassed? The obsession with the shamash is exactly the problem with Judaism today. Tradition outranks everything.
Yeah.
The only purpose we have a shamash is because we need extra light. Nobody here lights Chanukah candles in such a scenario where you need extra light. Nobody. There's not one person here.
That's just electricity.
Yeah, or you forgot to pay your electric bill. Could be
Yeah.
then you need a...
Could be. Yeah.
But
So-
even if
So you could light the candles with a match, and if it goes out, you just strike another match.
I do that every year.
And the shamash at the top of the menorah is left alone.
Watch
Here
the
it is.
quality of Hatikvah finds you there. Look at this.
So can I ask you
Check
something?
it out. Check it out.
Why is the shamash there?
Look. Watch this.
It's
It can be
higher.
removed. You're right.
See that?
Well,
They come with a
Okay.
removable shamash
okay, why was it there?
because people didn't used to have light in their house. Think about this. You want to light Chanukah candles in your house. Most people went to bed half an hour after sunset. Why?
That's true.
It's
of the
too
old days,
expensive to leave candles on all over the house. It costs money to light candles. All of a sudden, you have this great holiday where you have to light candles all night long. So people say, guys, this is a great night. We're gonna play Monopoly. We're gonna read books. We're gonna have. We're gonna drink. We have a party every night here because of these candles. If anyways, I have to light 8 candles, so I'm gonna at least get my bang for my buck. Let me say, slow down. These lights are holy. We cannot use these lights. Only to look at them. So we came up. Okay, we'll add a candle. We're not using these candles. Candle. That's why I'm reading my book. Now, are you really using the light of these candles?
Yeah.
It's Mishnah B'La says Mishum Hekera. You're doing it so you're conscious of the fact that you're not allowed to use these, and you're only using this one
So why is it elevated? Because it's not part of lighting.
to show you that it's not. In fact, in the many Chanukiot, it wasn't elevated. It was here.
Oh,
Oh,
In Morocco, they had 2 of
So
them
that-
over here.
uh-huh.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So in other words, it wasn't elevated. It was just on a different parallel.
Correct. Just so you shouldn't think that it's 4
Yeah,
nights
it's
of
higher.
Hanukkah.
It's higher. Yeah.
Some of them have it here,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen all the different types of Hanukkah.
Yeah,
possibly.
not all,
Well,
but
you know,
a
the
few,
fact
yeah.
that it's movable doesn't mean that it's not as important. It means that you need to move it in order to use it as a shamash to light the other candles. You can't have it stationary in the
If
thing.
this is an oil, this is made to be oil. There's no way I can light a candle with an oil cup.
Okay, but if it's candles, you could.
But it's The mitzvah of Chanukah is not with candles, it's oil.
Okay. Well, candles are okay to use.
Yeah, but you don't have oil. You could use candles.
Yeah.
Many of us use candles. But meaning, when you learn halachot, you have to learn in the original context, and it's not candles.
The correct way, yeah.
So if you use candles and you used an extra candle to light the candles, then you put it out. Okay.
Yeah, I do that also.
Rabbi, can we use that as a decoration? To these days? Even that
An
doesn't.
earring? What do you want?
Huh?
Earring? What do you want to do with this?
No, just no.
Oh, to put it here, just decoration.
One more extra light, just decoration. Just to look more.
It's not.
You know.
Halafelitz came into his house, Erev Pesach. He saw all the countertops were covered with aluminum foil.
Are there menorahs?
Oh, no.
Are the menorahs sold without a place for a shamash?
Are there menorahs sold at a place for shamash? I don't think so.
Without
Because most people see what I'm saying is not good for marketing. Jews like their customs.
They're used to it, you know.
Well,
The
Remember that
seven-
most
I
people
mean-
didn't buy Chanukiot. Most people made Chanukiot. So the question is, when I'm making my Chanukiah, and am I making it with 8 candles or 9 candles? So you do the math. If I lived in a place where there's no light, then I'm going to make 9. But if I'm in a place where there's another torch being lit, I know that we stay up late anyways eating sufganiot. So why would I add a 9th branch to my Chanukiah? I wouldn't do it. Today that they're selling it, they're selling you all options. I'm surprised it's even removable. That means that there's someone who's conscious of the fact that it doesn't have to be here.
It's pretty neat.
well, maybe for the oil, but no,
Oil.
yeah.
I actually don't know that any of the candle Chanukiot have a removable shamash.
Yeah.
I think mine does. I think it's removable.
Now,
Really?
you were saying about,
If you just want to add it as a decoration.
so a parent-sized wife covered all the countertops with aluminum foil.
Pesach. Whose house did you see that in?
At his house.
When you first got married.
Wait,
He
saw
came
it in
home,
his-
and all of his countertops were covered in aluminum foil.
Oh, his wife or
Told
some
his
visitor.
wife. He said, "My dear wife, did you cover the countertops because you assume that according to halacha you must cover your countertops?" So before you answer that question, let me tell you that in this house we don't cover our countertops with aluminum foil because it's not a halacha. So if you're doing this because of halacha, I'm going to rip them up the countertops now. He said, rather, if you tell me you're doing it for decoration, that's already your department. I don't have any say in who decorates this house. So you tell, it's like, I'm covering all the countertops because I think it looks nicer. I said, okay. Get left on. You're going to tell me it's why you land the shamash, it looks nicer?
Yeah.
Okay, but good for you. What am I going to do?
No, we'll add it just for that. Looks nicer. Decoration.
Remember when you were eating your food as a kid and you didn't finish your plate, your parents said, there are people on the other side of the world that don't have food. You don't want. But just remember, when you're wasting oil, there are people somewhere in the world that don't have enough oil to light Hanukkah candles.
Guilt trip.
Whoa.
That's pressing it a bit.
It's okay, but the thing is, I'm gonna use candles, so I'm okay.
I'll tell you where. Incorrect. Shulchan Aruch asked that question, based on the Gemara, of course. No, Shulchan didn't mention. You're in a city, and your city was able to obtain lulavim, hadassim, aravot, no etogim. You could not get an etog. It's a very commonplace in many places. Etogim are far away. But you have an abundance of lemons. Now, obviously, you're not going to make a bracha on the lemon with the lulavim and etogim. But just so that the people don't forget that there's a mitzvah of etog, is it a good thing to bring something that looks like an etog to like be a placeholder?
Whoa.
Might
Well, what
give-
is it?
Well, it might give the wrong impression that you can substitute a lemon for an etrog.
See, in American law, you cannot self-incriminate. According to halacha, no, don't bring a lemon, because giving people an incorrect education is worse than not doing a mitzvah properly. If we're going to incorrectly educate everybody that you need a shamash, I tell you, for 4 years I lived in this town, and people, every Am Haaretz who was bigger than the next Am Haaretz, used to come and tell me, Rabbi, what do you mean? You don't know you're supposed to have a shamash? How could you even eat in this room without a shamash? How could you read a book without a shamash? I hear what these people think. And it's all because they think you need a shamash. And so the education we've given people is so incorrect. It's not that they're not lighting a shamash because it looks nicer, because of mythical, spiritual reasons. They're lighting a shamash because they think it's a halacha, and so
I
much
think it's the
so,
correct way, yeah.
so much so that they've learned this incorrectly. And who's at fault for that? Those who enable this education. Why would you be taking on yourself the responsibility to educate people incorrectly? You want to light a shamash? Turn off all the lights in your house. And then I agree you can have a shamash.
And leave them off?
Yeah, till the shamash burns out. Then turn it back on.
Well, when you do the first mitzvah, to do the first candle, and after that you can, whoever's in the room with you, you can say this is just for decoration. Simple. I'm not agree that that's a mitzvah, but it's just for, I will put this here for decoration.
I thought about that once. I thought about lighting the candles. First, of course, you don't light the shamash first, right? Of course not. You're going to light your mitzvah candle first after you make a bracha. Right?
How you gonna?
No.
How you gonna?
Right?
No. How you
There's
gonna?
no way in the world you're going to light your shamash first after you make a bracha.
No, you.
No. You light your
Light?
Yeah, you
shamash
light.
first, and then
After
you light
making
Yeah,
your
you,
bracha.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because you
light
light
it.
with candle. I told you you light with oil.
Oh. Okay.
Like with a match or something. Torch.
Yeah. Well, we used to use
So you're not really using the shamash for anything, you're just lighting it, and then you
Just-
basically don't say a bracha until later, and when you're lighting the real candles.
Other way around.
The-
You light your real candles and then you light your shamash.
afterwards.
Yes,
That-
I was
that's
thinking-
like putting the cart after the horse.
No, you
Before
have
the
to,
horse.
because once you make a bracha, you have to do the mitzvah right away.
Yeah.
How can you interrupt the shamash? And if you light the shamash first, before you make the bracha,
Yeah.
Yeah.
once you light one candle, you already fulfilled the mitzvah. Who lets you go make a bracha again?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So-
but
so-
it's not
Okay, so how do
a
you do
candle, it's not part of
Do you
the,
see how many problems the shamash is
yeah,
getting you into?
I can see the problems,
Just
but I
ditch
can
it.
also understand
Okay, no
the
Just
practice.
say no to shamash, that's all.
Well, so that's even
Fine.
worse, no?
And
Because
then-
that's maybe
You
do like better.
like the Grinch there.
Yeah, that's
for Hanukkah.
Yeah, that's it. You're not the first person. Come on, it's
Okay.
Twas the night
Maybe you
before
will say,
Hanukkah.
Very good.
Let's say you want to light shamash after. I would agree. You light the candles, then you light the shamash after.
Mm-hmm.
If you could find, let's say, a monkey to light the shamash for you, then I would agree you could let him. Because everybody will know that a human being didn't do this mitzvah. It's a monkey,
Anybody want a
Dog,
monkey?
Yeah.
a donkey.
You're
But if a
gonna-
human being is going to do this mitzvah, you're showing that it has some kind of importance to it. It's part of your mitzvah.
Are you really gonna post this on your website?
This cannot be the worst thing I've ever said on the video.
And you're
It's
right,
pretty
Rob,
mild.
Because,
It's
because if you already
tame.
if you already do the bracha and then you turn off your light, your candle. So why are you gonna turn off the shamash? For what
Because you're
reason?
talking about candles.
I know, but for me,
You're talking about lighting candles with a candle, so the candle, the shamash is already lit.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you about doing the mitzvah properly with oil.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about oil. Why
fire
are you
comes
gonna turn?
from
Why are you gonna
somewhere.
turn the shamash?
You
Oil
always,
shamash.
because you always turn the shamash on. Because the oil shamash doesn't help you with the candle. The candle's going to burn out before the oil candles are done. Nobody leaves their candle shamash lit with an oil menorah.
So the oil is not oil, it's in
Well,
a
on this kind,
hydrogenated form. It's, when you get the oil things, they are hard.
You're talking about the pre-congealed oils.
Yeah,
Okay.
pre-congealed oil.
Usually they're.
So you can use them as candles while it's being lit. You can,
Initially,
you're right.
yeah.
yeah.
Before
So-
it chills out, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can do it in a hurry so it
Yeah.
doesn't
It gives
melt.
you enough time to light another
Yeah.
candle with it, yeah.
So
And-
that's why I think that they have it detached so that you can use it actually. And
No.
I have.
But you can't put it in that holder and tip it. You have to hold it.
Well, you got to be careful.
Now, my father-in-law, if I recall correctly, the Hasidim have some kind of Kabbalah using beeswax shamash. It's pure beeswax, like a greenish, I don't know what it is. He has like a special silver holder that has a candle out like a lipstick. You turn it and the candle comes out.
Really?
That's how they light. Yeah, they have something like that.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You know what I'm talking about? You've seen that before?
Yeah.
No.
It's like a chapstick.
So they yeah, exactly. And they light the
Chapstick.
candles. They I don't know if they blow it out, but they put it out, and then they use that candle to light their shamash too, and they leave it.
It's like $200 chapstick.
Yeah, exactly.
So you light a candle, then you say the bracha, and then use that candle to light the other candles. You can't do that.
I can't say you can't do that, because the Gaon of Vilna would say you didn't intend to light that first candle for the mitzvah of Hanukkah.
Right.
Okay, here.
But better to do the say the bracha and then light the first candle with a match and then use that. Yes?
Yes, but it has a different problem with it. And that's
Oh.
going to be how long it will take to do that and then go light your other candles. You don't want to make an interruption to the blessing of the mitzvah. Seems to be the custom of people is their candle is lit before they make the bracha, so that immediately they can light their Hanukkah candle.
We usually sing the blessing slowly and just start lighting the candles
Yeah,
while we're
as you're,
saying the
as you're,
blessing.
as you're singing.
There is a minhag to light while you're saying the blessings. I don't like this minhag. What am I supposed to tell you?
Maybe those little scripto like fire start barbecue starters
That's what I
are a
use.
good solution.
I use that.
Because then it's like no fire exists. You just go flick, and then 1 second later you have a
And it's not a kasher
Hot
candle
thing.
because it doesn't stay on.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to fill any mitzvah of Hanukkah, and it immediately lights, so I don't have to worry about striking a match, lighting a candle, lighting, and then lighting my Hanukkah. That's what I use for Hanukkah.
A torch.
Well, if you have
And it's like there's a word for it. What do you call it? Scripto lighter. It's like a barbecue lighter.
Barbecue
you know,
lighter.
the long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a butane.
it's a mini torch, really.
Yeah.
They actually have one version of Scripto 2 that has like shoots out. I'm like,
Right.
psh, the kids get a real big kick out of that. It's like
It is
it's like a
something-
real
They use that for some
torch.
havdalah.
no, it's okay.
Here's where Am Yisrael has to make a choice. When you learn halakha, you have to decide who is going to have final say, you, or what it says in the book. If you're going to be stubborn and say, well, what I do is important, this is how I've always done it, who are you to tell me? I have no one to tell you. At the end of the day, you have to have some kind of hachna, some kind of, this is Shulchan Aruch, it's not some guy. Now, if you found another equally valid opinion that supported X, Y, and Z, and that was a choice you made, okay, you can make a choice to not follow Shulchan Aruch, but follow something else. But it's an unhealthy habit when Jews learn Jewish texts with the it's a pre-decided, it's a decision already made that regardless of what it says in this book, it's not applicable to me. And most Jews do that with everything. I'm going to study Chumash, but we don't have to take everything literally. I'm going to study Mishnah, but I can't really take the Mishnah at face value. You have to study the Talmud. I study the Talmud, but nobody rules halakha like what it says in the Talmud. All the Jewish books that people study, they study with this feeling of none of it is binding on me. So when those same Jews study Shulchan Aruch, I know the attitude is, oh, we study Shulchan Aruch, but who rules like Shulchan Aruch? At some point in time, you have to stop and say, there's one book that I read that is relevant.
Torah.
No, but by the Torah, nobody does that. By the Torah, everything is, well, it's a metaphor, it's a this,
Yeah,
it's a
right.
that. It's a... So, which book are the Jewish people going to take seriously? Because so far, there's not one in their whole repertoire of books that they take seriously.